Welcome back, CSE 103, to exercise 8b. This is going to be called PatrickAnimation, and it's going to be the second video we do with CapCut if you're not using WeVideo. And we're going to do a little animation, little keyframe animation. Now, we did keyframe with the closing credits, but we're also going to try to do it with Patrick and try to flip them around. And I've never done it in CapCut, and I didn't even practice it. So this will be kind of a dry run here to see what happens. Now, what we're going to do first, if you already downloaded all these images, you should have them here as a zip file. If you downloaded the folder and you unzipped it, you should have these. Now, we're going to use Patrick Ping because he should be transparent, and you could put him over top of Bikini Bottom High School. You could do that. Now, you could use another background if you want. There's Bikini Bottom, but I'm going to use Bikini Bottom High School. So I'm going to use Patrick Ping. I'm going to use Bikini Bottom High School, and I can use the closing credits wave, which I may have in there already, and I'm going to use the Patrick laugh, so he kind of acts goofy. That's the goofy laugh in there. And there's also This Is Patrick, which we could use in the beginning, but you don't have to even do that. So if you want to add the same beginning and the same closing credits like the other video, that's fine. If not, maybe what I'll do just to make things easier here is just do the animation. So I'm just going to do that. So let's go back to this. Now, if you didn't download the whole zip folder, if you just go to Google Drive, you can go here and you could find Patrick Ping and download him. Just download. There he is. He'll be in my downloads. And I have ones after them because they're probably downloaded previously. And then I'm going to use Bikini Bottom High School. Here's Bikini Bottom High School. I'll download that. And then I'll use Patrick Laugh. It's this kind of long laugh. And I'll download that. And I think that's all I should need. And let me go to my downloads here. Now here they are in here. Here's some of these downloads. There they are, my most recent ones. Patrick Laugh, Bikini Bottom High School, and Patrick Ping. And then I'm going to go back to my projects. Now I have two kind of dashboards here. Now this was the original one. Let me close it up. Here's the one showing the one I have here. So that's the most recent one. And I'm just going to create new video, and I'll just use blank canvas again, and I'll go in here and I'll just put 8b and I'll call it Patrick Animation, and I'll put my initials. So this is 8b, and I'll hit enter. Now I need to get those other graphics in there, not graphics, but whatever they are. So Patrick Laugh, drag that in here. Hopefully that'll work. And remember, go to Project. If it doesn't go in there, go to Project and drag that in. Hopefully it uses the M4A. And that seems to work. And then Bikini Bottom High School. And then Patrick Ping. So that's all you really need. If you want to do the first ones again, I think they're already here. So I think you can add them to your timeline from cloud, but you can't drag them in the cloud. So they're already uploaded. So I guess as I learn here, these are already uploaded, but for your project, that's why I had to bring them in here first. So we're going to just bring in the background first. So I'm just going to click here. Now, how long do we want it? Let's do 5 seconds and then 10 seconds. Now, I'm going to actually just see if I can copy paste and bring this over here. Or actually, let me do this. Bring this to the end. This is 5 seconds, and I'm going to add it again. Okay, because we're going to do an animation over top of this, kind of the same distance. So that way we could kind of split it in half. Now let me see if I could bring Patrick in here. I'll bring him here at the beginning. There's Patrick. Now he went in front of it. Now I'm going to drag him over here and put him on top, because he's a ping. So he's transparent in the background. So I have to bring him on top. And he's actually 5 seconds, so that's fine. Now he's going to start small and get bigger. So we're going to use some animation here. And hopefully be able to use this here. Now they have in and out and different stuff here. What we're going to try to do is just see if we could do keyframes and just scale him. Now let's see how this works here. We should be able to just kind of go to basic, and they should have keyframes, these little diamonds here. So we're going to kind of scale him down first and make him small and put him over here. You can even put him off screen like that. And then I'm going to put keyframe, because we're doing scale and position. So I'm thinking that's what you do. So let's see. Now we're going to go over here at the 5-second, or wherever he is. He's there. And now I'm going to move him. There's a keyframe here. It looks like it made a keyframe when I moved him. And then I'm going to make him larger, and it made another keyframe. So it actually made the keyframe. So what it should be doing is kind of adding new keyframes from there. Now let me try this again. Let me delete the whole thing. Let me delete that. I just want to try it out again. Let me just throw this in, and I'll throw it on top this time. And before I add any keyframes, let me just make it smaller. Put them on the path, and let me just do that. Now, let me see if I could do this. If I go here at the end, and just enough so I still see him. Now if I go here to basic, and I make him larger, see if it adds a keyframe. It doesn't. So you have to add a keyframe first. So I didn't practice this, so I'm just showing it. So I'm going to delete this again. And I think what I did the first time was correct. So drag it down on top of here. Make sure it's 5 seconds. At the beginning, make him the size you want and the position he wants. That's where he's starting. Starting position. Then go to Basic Tools and go to Keyframe. Okay, so that's showing you that you have a keyframe, a starting keyframe at his scale size and at his position. Then, when you go to the end, move the playhead to the end. Now before he disappears, right before he disappears, we're going to move him and put him here and make him bigger. And you can see it made a keyframe and it moved him. So it added keyframes automatically and it made the animation. Now, what I'm going to try and do is flip it around. So what might be easier is actually copying and pasting this, not starting over, but doing a Command-C or Control-C and then Control-V, which is copy. Or you could just copy Command-C. You're going to see Control if you're on Windows. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go here right at the end and I'm going to paste it. See if we could just paste. So it pasted the same thing. Now, right now it's doing the same thing. But what we want to do is go at the beginning here where he starts, and we want to see if we could reverse him. Because what we want to do here is make him bigger the way he was. Now, I don't know if they have a reverse on here. They might. I might figure it out, and they might have a reverse. And we also want to flip him. They should have a flip right here. We want to flip him so he goes back the other way. And now he's going to go back. So now we're going to go back, make sure we get to the next keyframe. And now we're going to make him small and go back here like that. Let's see if that worked. That seemed to work. He flipped around. So he's coming, and he's getting larger. And now we made a copy of him and we flipped him and he kind of went back. So the keyframe is like a point of change. Now you could certainly add other stuff to this. You can add a, intro to it. You could add closing credits. Whatever you want to do. The main thing you want to do is add his laugh. So throw his laugh in here. Let me listen to this. Make sure his laugh's not in there. His laugh's not showing up. No, his laugh's not showing up. Unless it's not seeing it as the right format. What format is it? Laugh. It's an M4A. You know what? It got added in there, but it's not a wave. So maybe I'll try to throw a wave in there for you. So you could do that. I mean, in the meantime, if you want to just go to This Is Patrick and throw This Is Patrick in there, you could do that. But I'll try to put a wave in there. See, I think it's because it's not the right format. It should just drag right in there. I don't think it likes the M4A. It imported it, but because you don't see the little audio sign there, it's not really doing that. Remember, when you have a real audio, you could go in here and do a fade. You can make it fade out. But I have that goofy laugh, so I'm going to have to make a wave for you because apparently CapCut doesn't like the M4A. WeVideo was okay with that, but they're not okay with it. So I'll make a wave that's in there so you have that and you could throw in the Patrick laugh in there. And then when you're done, even like this, all you have to do is go to Export, Share as Presentation, and then hit Export. Wait for it to get to 100%. And there it is. It's exported. Then you can just copy link. And once you see that, you're good. Go back to My Warren. Go back to Coursework. which I don't have open here, and I don't have an assignment yet for 8b, but I will. But even in the meantime, even if I didn't, I could go in here and go down. There's the one I added as a comment for 8a. Now I can also add a second comment in here and do the same thing and paste the URL and make it open in a new window, which you always want to do, and then hit save. And now I put them both in the same assignment. That's fine. That's what we always used to do, but I'll make an 8b. But since I don't have that in here right now, that's how you'll have to do it. So that's your new ID for that. And then when I click on it, I'll be able to see your video when you're done. I won't be able to help you edit it unless I have your login, unless you give me your login or something to go in and see what you're doing. But for now, I can at least see your finished video. And again, I didn't mean to, here, I'll close this up. I didn't mean to confuse you with that, but again, I didn't practice this, so I wanted to make sure the right way. So just follow it the way I did the first time. Even, again, if I had to do it one more time, if I deleted that, if I went here and threw in Patrick Ping, put him right there, what I had to do is get him to the right scale and the right position first, like that, and then go to Basic and add a keyframe for scale and add a keyframe for position, because that's what I'm going to change. And let me undo that. Because, why? Because this should be at the end. Now let me do that one more time. That's where he is. That's where he is. I'll go to Basic. I'll add keyframe, keyframe. And now I'll move him up to where I can still see him. If he goes away, you can't really move him. So make sure you just go till you can't see him anymore, as far as you can. Then when you move him, it'll automatically add a keyframe for his position. And when you scale him, it will automatically add a keyframe for his scale. And that's one part of it. So it's doing that tween. That's called a tween. And rather than try to do the whole reverse thing, you could do the whole reverse. I mean, if you just wanted to start it over, instead of copying this one, I mean, what you could do is just go here to the end, drag in Patrick right after this one, and then basically, since he's this size, bring him here, flip him. Now that's how he's going to start. So if he's going to start like that, go to Basic and go to the Scale Add Keyframe, because you're going to make him smaller. And go to the position keyframe because you're going to change that. And then go to the end and then physically move them and physically scale them down. And it'll add keyframes for both of those. And again, I will have the Patrick laugh as a wave file that you could bring in there. And now what you can see is when I go through here is he's coming and then he gets flipped around and then he goes back. So there are two ways to do it. You could copy it and edit it, whatever. It shouldn't be that hard. If you have any problem, let me know. I'll record another video and try to do it perfectly from beginning to end, but this is the first time I did it. And you can see it's not that hard. It's just, you got to make sure that if you're going to change something about his scale or about his position, you add a keyframe first. And then once you move him the second time, wherever the playhead is, it actually adds keyframes for you. That's what these things are. That means there's a change, and then the computer does tweens in between. So that's all you have to do. I already did the export, so that's 8b Patrick Animation.